This video is taken from a War Thunder TankSim battle replay in which I was pleased to get 4 air kills. First, a very brief third person view. There we are. And we go straight into first person view, which is the only view that I'm allowed whilst flying in TankSim. So let's start the engine. There we go. You'll see that there are blue markers. There's that guy there, a guy in the air, and that's our team. And obviously there are red markers for the red team, but this is only available on the replay. When I'm actually flying in battle, I can't see any of those markers, and I have to be in the cockpit once I start moving. So let's switch the markers off. They're gone. There we are. I've switched off the markers, and this is what I would actually see whilst I'm flying in battle. Right, so I've taken off okay, and now you can see bottom right hand corner there's a small map, and it shows a small triangle, and that is me flying towards the opposite side. But you have to take your gear up once you've taken off, and I didn't. If you don't take your gear up, then the airflow can snap your gear off. And that crash sound that you just heard was my first gear leg being snapped off by the airflow. Just slightly up and slightly left of my firing button, you'll see the gear down warning light telling me that I should take my gear up. And that second crash was my other gear leg, so I'm now without gear. If I'm going to land, if I survive to a point where I need to land, I'm going to have to belly flop gently as I can. So, a few words about the replay, and you'll see that down the left hand side you've got a bunch of names. This is obviously for the more or the less initiated in War Thunder and the War Thunder replays. You've got a bunch of names down the left and a bunch of names down the right. The left hand side is our team, the bunch of names down the right is their team, and you can see the status of each one, what they're flying, what they're driving, and whether they're changing, like a parachute would show that they're changing their role in some way. The name bars on the map aren't there whilst you're in battle. And down there on the bottom left you'll see a little box that's giving the kill or damage records that have happened during the battle. There you are, there's a few just cropped up there where things are happening within the battle. Also, you need to remember or realise that all the aircraft that are flying or taking off or whatever, all the aircraft, all the ground vehicles are under control of players. There's no bots, there's no AI within this mode, it's all players. So you have to be very careful. Shooting a bot that's yours is not quite so bad, but you don't want to shoot down one of your own players. And of course there are no markers. You've got to be very careful about who you shoot at. Shooting down a player that's on your side can be very costly. A good number of thousands of silver lions can be deducted from your current purse if you shoot one of your guys down. Although I've said that this is aircraft and tanks, for me it's just aircraft. I don't get into tanks. Once I lose my aircraft, I tend to leave the battle because I'm not going to get in a tank. I'm not good with tanks, and tanks are for me two-dimensional. I like the 3 dimensions of flight, so I just want to get back into my aircraft and again in a different battle maybe. Did you hear my engine note pick up just then? Well, that's because I've spotted just above the horizon, slightly to the right of centre at the moment of the picture, I've spotted a dot, and that dot I've determined is probably an enemy aircraft because of where it is and what it's doing, and I'm going to certainly investigate and I might attack. Now the view that I get when I'm actually flying is possibly a bit better than you're seeing here, and I can see that that has got a fixed undercarriage, and it's a Stuka. That's a Stuka that I want to go for. So here we go, tally-ho. Yeah, I was happy with that kill. In fact, the second burst that I fired at him wasn't really necessary because I hadn't realised, but he was already down before I made the second burst. Now, when you make a kill, chances are there's someone else watching. Now this guy, I looked around just after the first kill. This guy, I looked around and I saw him, and chances are he'd been watching what was happening and was thinking about going for me. But luckily, I got the drop on him. At the beginning of this battle, before I'd even taken off, there was a guy putting a message in the chat saying I meant to spawn in a tank but I spawned in a 109. So he'd already told us about then, of course, that he's an enemy flying a 109. So I said, okay, I'll try and say hello, and I did. There we go. Happy with that one too. And of course, in this mode, you're not going to get reloaded in the air. You've got to land. It's sim. You've got to land and reload, refuel, repair, whatever. So I'm now going to go back and do that. And actually, I use something called voice attack to tell the rest of the guys that I'm going back. I use voice commands and it translates that for me and puts out a radio message, which is really good. The thing is, I'm saying I'm going to go back to base, but see my little green light there that says down? Yeah, my gear says it's still down. It's not, because it's broken off, isn't it? So I've now got to try and get back without getting shot down by someone chasing me. And which they didn't, I don't think, and then I've got to land a gentle belly flop. As long as I keep at least one wing surviving, I'll probably get repaired. If I lose both wings, then you'll probably say you can't repair, too much damage. So if I'm going too fast, the airflow could break off my gear, which it did. Also, if I'm going too fast and I put my flaps down to land, it'll break them off as well. So I don't want to be putting my flaps down above about 150 miles an hour. They've just gone down, so I should be okay to land. But now, can I get it down gently enough? I'm going to lose the prop, I'm going to lose the engine, but as long as I don't lose me, that's okay. That was good enough. As they say, any landing you can walk away from is a good one. So, 2 air kills under my belt. Happy with that so far. Sometimes I don't get any, and I've got 2 at the moment, so this is good. Off we go again and see if we can pick up another one or 2. And of course, I haven't got a distraction. I'm not being distracted this time, so I managed to get my gear up safely. So it goes from the green down to the red up. That's good. Right, bit of a dogfight in front of us. Now, if it's a fight, that means at least one of those guys isn't on my side. So I'm now cruising to give up bruising. And of course a big chunk of the problem at this stage is trying to work out maybe who's who, because as I said, you've got to identify before you fire. This guy's at 109. Now at that point I thought he'd gone down, but I don't leave too much to chance. I turned around and there we are, he's still flying. So I'm thinking that I've got to finish him off, but as it turned out I didn't need to. I've got him anyway. You'll see that as I'm flying around I'm looking around, and once again for the uninitiated I'm using something called Track IR, which is on a baseball cap I have a clip, and that clip has reflective sections which reflect infrared back to a camera that's firing infrared out at me, and it knows where my head is pointing, and from that it can make me look in the right direction in the game. Sometimes it will look as though I'm taking awful shots, or not taking shots that you might think I could take, but I have to point my whole aircraft at the target. So if you're in a tank you can swing your turret round. In the aircraft you have to point the whole aircraft at your target to stand a chance of hitting it. Also remember that I have to very carefully identify the aircraft I'm going to be shooting at to make sure it's not one of mine. This one's a Japanese aircraft and they can really turn quickly. So that was a number 4, so I'm happy with that. I'll often get 1 kill, very often get no kills, sometimes I get 3, but on this occasion and on one other occasion I've had 4 air kills within the same battle, and I'm very happy with that. A few seconds ago you might have heard things slamming into me. I think that was enemy ground units. So let's just do some flying around and looking around as I said with Track IR, which I'm very happy with. I'd be useless without it. And of course I'm using rudder pedals, so my kit is the Track IR, the rudder pedals, and I'm very proud to own a Warthog, the Thrustmaster Hodash Warthog throttle and stick. Very proud to own that. So all that remains for me to do in this battle is to return to base and land safely. I've had 4 air kills. I've had a good battle. We didn't win, but I've had a good battle for me personally. And all I need to do now is lose a bit of speed. As you can see, I'm losing some speed, performing manoeuvres to bleed off some speed so that I'm not travelling too fast, to be able to put my gear and my flaps down, look around a little bit, just in case there's someone on my tail. But I'm still probably going a bit too fast, so I'm gonna go around, just move around a little bit to the right, do a circuit, or rather get to the other end of the airfield and make a turn, and then come in from there. But the game's nearly done. This battle's nearly finished, and in reality I didn't actually get as far as recording the landing because it finished. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. It's really intended for those people who are less au fait with War Thunder and the other bits and pieces. So hope you've enjoyed it.